Dear student, today we are discussing a 11th level chapter, and the chapter name is complex number, and we are discussing this chapter from NCERT book. This book is an important for any kind of competitive exam as well as the board exam. That is English mediums also and Bengali medium also. Now today we are discussing complex number from the NCERT book. At first we are discussing the complex number. Any complex number Z, these are A plus IB types, whereas I is equal to root under minus 1, and the conjugate of A complex number is equal to A minus IB, and a multiple of Z into Z bar, that is complex number and their conjugate A plus IB multiple with A minus IB. Now calculating we get, and since I square is equal to minus 1, so if we put here, then we get A square plus B square. So from here we can decide that the product of a complex number and their conjugate number is always a pure real number. Similarly, when we adding these two, then we get purely real, and similarly when we subtract this, purely imaginary. These two is an important identities for any complex number. Move to the next part. Suppose another complex number P is equal to C plus ID. Now Z multiple with P, then we get A plus IB and C plus ID, then A times of C plus ID and IB times of C plus ID multiple with AC plus IAD plus IBC plus I squared BD. We know that I square is equal to minus 1, since I is equal to root under minus 1. That is AC plus I of AD plus I of BC minus BD. Now AC minus BD and I times of AD plus BC. This is the product of any two complex number. This is the primary idea about the complex number. Now we move to the exercise section of NCERT book. Now we are discussing the exercise of NCERT book. Exercise 4.1. First question is, express the given as A plus IB. So first is 5I multiple with 3 by 5I. So if we multiple, then we get 3I square, and we know that I square is equal to minus 1, so put it, so 3. So you have to express this in the form of A plus IB. by the given condition. So this will be 3 plus 0 into I, this is, or 3 plus I into 0, this is the A plus B types form, whereas A is in 3 and B is in 0. So first problem is solved. Now we move to the second problem. Second problem, I to the power 9 plus I to the power 19. So, and I square to the power 9 into I. And we know that I square is equal to minus 1. This one. Now calculating this, this is a 0. So 0 plus 0 into I, or 0 plus I into 0. This is the A plus IB form, whereas A is equal to 0 and B is equal to 0. Second problem solved. Now we move to the third problem. Third problem is I to the power minus 39. So 1 by I to the power 39, if minus sign is there according to the index formula. Now 1 by I square to the power this one and I, and we know that I square is equal to minus 1. So I square is equal to minus 1, and now I square to the power 19 is equal to minus 1 to the power 19. So this will be minus 1. So minus of I. Multiply with I, then we get I square. Now calculating we get this one 1. Why 1? I square is equal to minus 1. Minus 1 multiply with minus. This will be the 1. So I. Now 0 plus I. This is a form of A plus IB. Whereas A is in 0 and B is in 1. So third is completed. So we move to the next part. Fourth is 3 times of 7 plus 7I and I times of 7 plus I7. Multiply with 3, then we get 21, 21 of I, 7I and I square of 7. We know that I square is equal to minus 1. Then put it, then you get 21 and sum of these two 28I, and this is the minus 7. So 14 plus 28I. This is the form of A plus IB, whereas A is equal to 14 and B is equal to 28. Fourth is complete. Move to the next part. 5. 1 minus I minus of minus 1 I of 6. Now calculating we get plus 1 and minus of I6. There is 2 minus of 7I. So this is the form of A plus IB, whereas A is in 2 and B is in minus 7. Fifth is complete. Now we move to the next part. So 6. Calculating, we get this is a form of a plus ib, whereas a is equal to this one and b is equal to this one. This is a complete of first part of complex number from the NCERT book. Hope today's discussion will help you to understand this chapter, that is the complex number chapter. Next part of this chapter will be uploaded next day. So subscribe the channel for more information about this chapter and regular basis NCERT solutions of class 11, class 12, class 9 and class 10 will be uploaded this Sumangal Sir YouTube channel.